In 413 BC, a lunar eclipse happened in this exact same sign, Pisces, on the same axis it's happening on right now. An Athenian commander saw the darkened moon as a terrifying omen and delayed his fleet's retreat by nearly a month. That delay let the enemy trap his ships in the harbor. The entire Athenian armada was destroyed. Right now, during this same Pisces lunar eclipse, there's an armada of sorts sitting in the Strait of Hormuz, as they are calling it, the Wall of Steel. By the end of this video, I'll walk you through 4 things to watch for after this eclipse: maritime disaster, coastal disaster, extreme weather hitting crops, disruption to public health and the markets. Once you see this pattern, you can't unsee it. This isn't the vague, generic, modern astrology that turns everything into a therapy session. This is traditional astrology, deterministic, based on timing and real events in your own life and in the world. Eclipses are omens of disaster, solar and lunar. How that plays out depends on the sign, the condition of the sun or moon in that sign, and what part of the sky it aligns with. Landing on a cardinal point amplifies the power. Water sign eclipses point to physical decay, sudden collapse, coastal disaster, ruined crops, and maritime danger. Medieval astrologers tied these to extreme atmospheric moisture and waterborne plagues. Outbreaks like the plague of Justinian and the Black Death were blamed on eclipses landing in these water and earth regions of the zodiac. Every sign has an opposite, and the two blend together. They also play tug of war. Miss one side of that axis and you miss half the picture. During the age of Pisces, that tug of war showed up as the battle between religion and material science. A modern example of an eclipse omen is right before COVID. Right before COVID was known, since it was technically happening behind the scenes, there was a total solar eclipse in Capricorn, opposite Cancer, a water sign. It lined up with a conjunction between Saturn and Pluto, joined by Jupiter, which expands whatever it touches, for better or worse. In this case, worse. That alignment happened on the winter solstice in December 2019, one of the most powerful points in the sky. This eclipse doesn't land on a cardinal point, but there's still plenty going on. Back to that opening story. The eclipse of Syracuse, August 27th, 413 BC, and the destruction of the Athenian armada. Right now, there's an armada in the Strait of Hormuz. Traditional astrology treats this August 2026 eclipse as a serious omen. Pisces eclipses disrupt shipping, public health, weather, and everyday affairs. Medieval texts link these watery eclipses to coastal flooding, failed harvests, and sickness. A darkened moon here exposes decay hiding inside large institutions and calls for tighter administration. We all know too well about the corruption of large institutions. Saturn is also retrograde in Aries right now, a dysfunctional placement adding pressure to the military situation in Iran and Ukraine. I've said on social media this retrograde will intensify the hotspots already active with Ukraine and Iran and could pull in Taiwan. As war intensifies, it hits oil and commodity markets, as we've already started to see. An analogy I like to explain is to think of these events like a bell being struck in the sky. What follows is the reverberation. It doesn't always show up on the exact date. It ripples out from that point in time. That's what happened after the Capricorn eclipse in December 2019. What followed was the intensity of 2020. So, 4 themes to watch for. First, maritime disaster, military or shipping. Watch Hormuz and commodity shipping interruptions broadly. Second, coastal disaster, most likely somewhere with a history of it. Look at the Asheville flood. It caught everyone off guard, but that region flooded almost a century earlier. I would need to sit down to see which historic pattern matches this time frame now. Third, extreme weather hitting agriculture. Pisces sits on the axis with Virgo, which governs the fall harvest and ties to agriculture. Fourth, public health disruption, and with it, the markets. the same way markets crashed in early 2020. Here's what makes this agriculture pattern hard to ignore. The highest concentration of hurricanes lines up almost exactly with the Sun's transit through Virgo, roughly August 23rd to September 22nd, spiking in late August and peaking around September 10th. Virgo is mutable, tied to transition, summer shifting into autumn. Hurricanes are transition engines, moving heat from the equator toward the poles. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, which governs wind, so when the Sun sits there, you get the highest velocity storms of the year. That statistical peak lands right around 18 degrees of Virgo, deep in mercurial territory. The harvest season marks the point where the Sun starts losing strength before entering Libra. In ancient symbolism, this is where themes of death and illness begin building through into winter. Watch these 4 things over the coming weeks: maritime disaster, coastal disaster, crop and weather disruption, public health and market disruption. If the pattern holds the way it has every other time, we'll know soon enough.